So we've got some Q&As that we got to get to.
We do.
Yeah.
So interesting. So
did you just spin one?
let me show
30
you.
yards and you spun it?
That one wasn't too bad. 65. So I didn't catch that one perfect, but I'm going to show you something.
All right. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, it's a low
Steep
launch,
choppy but open,
and 20 carry with almost 7,000. So 8 down.
Okay.
This is my new trick.
Let's change gears. The Q&A. Show me how to do that. Do that again.
So this is my new trick. So thanks, shout out to Joseph Mayo. So if you don't know, he is Viktor Hovland's kind of short game coach. He's posting a ton on the internet right now about launch conditions for short shots. And one of them is more than 8 degrees downwards, which everyone always talks about being shallow, things like that. Not on this sort of shot. So sub 30 launch, so the ideal is like 25 to 28, 29 sort of thing. Super steep, and he's showing it. Obviously we're hitting off a mat, so you're not going to see a lot of chunking, but showing it off a super tight piece of turf, and it's spinning like 5,000 on a 10-yarder. So I mean, it's
so people normally understand though the average player spins a 10-yarder at 2,000
maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe, right? So like this is where that's a huge difference, and it's all about getting really downwards and getting your sternum forwards, getting that weight forwards.
So you're very steep.
Exactly. So I mean, and this is like the first day I've practiced it. I was away for a couple weeks, but this is something that he talked about, just the math with Viktor Hovland and his ability to do it.
Hang on, I'm gonna split the screen. Where's the mouse?
Yeah, show me how much dynamic loft I'm delivering to. I'll get it out of your way.
Thank you. And we're gonna do. That's what we want, right?
There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So there's exactly. So spin loft, right? So we're talking spin loft.
So we're talking this number here, 55.2 degrees.
Exactly.
That's a lot of spin loft.
That's a ton.
So okay, first off, explain. This is turning into a completely different show. Explain to people what spin loft is, and then go from there.
Yeah. So quickly, so spin loft is basically the difference between how much you can hit down and how much loft you deliver. So, for example, if you could hit 10 degrees down on it and deliver 50 degrees of loft, you'd get 60 degrees of spin loft. So they add together, right? So basically, when people talk about how to hit the stinger, you do the opposite, right? You try and narrow the spin loft window so that you hit very shallow and you don't deliver a ton of loft. So the ball comes out very knuckly.
Okay. So in this case, the greater the spin loft number, the more spin you'll impart on the ball, assuming you hit it on the club face.
Exactly, and obviously, exactly.
Okay, so the steeper and the more loft you present, which seems weird, because normally when you get steep, the face shuts.
Yeah.
We're trying to be steep with an open face.
Exactly, yeah, and try to make sure you keep loft on it. So like, this is the big part about it that's creating issues for people, and why there's a debate about this, is because I'm still removing about 13 degrees of loft from the 60 degrees. So there's shaft lean. It is not hit like this, right? Jon Rahm can hit up on a driver with 10 degrees of shaft lean like this, right? So this is shaft lean and angle of attack are not correlated, right? So you could be forwards and I could hit up on that golf ball, no problem, and I could create 0 spin loft, right? So this is the big point of kind of contest right now. So what Joseph Mayo is proving with all of the information he showed, and with people kind of sending their stuff in, is an amateur golfer can do it pretty easily and never duff it.
So, okay, keep in mind, for those of you who don't know, Viktor Hovland,
he's okay.
Won the FedEx Cup, very good, but he was kind of famous for even making fun of himself about being a bad chipper.
Not the greatest chipper.
And then he chipped and putted it like a champ.
Perfect.
And then became the champ.
And exactly. So I think that's the interesting part. So I'm struggling.
I want to try this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So get in here. Let me hit one more. Let's see what that one's at. So again, we're using a 60-degree wedge. So that's my best one so far. There's 9.2 degrees down, 47 degrees of loft, 57 almost spin loft, and 7,300 spinning on a 23-yarder. And it honestly doesn't feel like I can miss it. Like it's one of those things.
So this is interesting. A long time ago now, a few seasons back, we did a spin challenge. You remember that? This is like 2.0 because and
it's a shorter shot, right? I think that's the big.
So what you're trying to do is carry it very short, 23 yards there. And we've all been in that place where, let's say you're playing a par 3 and you toe one, you neck one, you quack hook one off a tree and you're 30 yards to a tucked pin, you're in a really bad spot, you need spin to get the ball to stop close.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm talking like I know what the hell I'm doing. So normally, when I would set up to hit something, let's call it 25 yards,
Sure.
I would put it a little forward in my stance, but I like to lean on it. I would be up and open.
Yeah. So that
and I would
sounded
be
solid.
somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that was actually kind of really good on the number.
And you're very close to that just naturally.
And
Which is
naturally.
why you're a good chipper.
So my attack angle was negative 6.4 degrees there. I hold the face. That was a really good shot.
Perfect. You
Like,
launched
really
at
good.
sub 30s, launched at 29, delivered 47 degrees of loft. So again, spin loft is great. The thing with the cool part about Matt is Matt innately does this, right? But I think what people are, maybe not to that extent, but obviously there's your average one. I think people don't realize, they don't correlate, oh, I'm so steep, I'm gonna chunk everything.
Okay.
It's not
so
true.
Before both Scott and Gareth actually taught me some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I used to think that, the flop shot, hitting it high was the way to spin it and get it to stop. It's not.
No, it's not.
So I've learned to kind of get on top of it and pinch the ball down. Okay, so walk me through this now.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying.
So technically what you're
Where's
trying
the
to
ball?
do is see,
Same
this is
spot?
the thing. So yeah, but your sternum's forwards. Everything's moving
Okay,
forwards.
so ball's forward, but my body's more forward, which is
Exactly.
almost like putting it to the back of your stance. But
Exactly.
Okay,
So I like it mid or forwards, but we're gonna get down on it here.
and I've got to get steeper.
Exactly, and hit it
But I
shorter.
can't let the face shut or it's going to be a scooter.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So it's too much
Like
speed.
that?
Too much speed though.
Too much
Right,
speed?
so you hit it too hard. So
I was
it's gonna go too
excited.
far. Yeah, so it's tons, right? I mean, again, good. You did it.
It's spun a lot.
So you did a good job you delivered more dynamic loft, but less angle, right? So you
Okay,
created
hang on,
59
hang on.
degrees
You got to
of,
slow down. Less angle. What's the angle we mean?
sorry, less attack angle.
Oh, I wasn't steep enough. Oh,
No, you were way more loft. I can't produce one like that.
because I'm awesome and you're a loser?
Well, that's
cool.
that's part of it, but don't tell
Okay.
anybody. So listen to this. So this is from Joseph Mayo, the TrackMan Maestro. As of today, I've gotten approximately 50 screenshots of people hitting the 15-yard chip with sub 30 launch conditions and 5,000 RPMs with a 10-degree AOA. So
10-degree angle of attack, negative 10-degree angle of
Yeah.
attack. So angle of attack is club coming into the ball.
exactly. 10 degrees down. So you were 5.6
So I'm half of
there.
that.
You're half of that. So that means you need to lean more. You get that weight more on that front
Okay.
side, and feel like that chest really stays forwards. Good.
That was less speed.
Good. Yeah. So that's the goal. Less speed. Perfect. So 7 down. And look at that. So 23 and 7,000. When we saw Gareth do this a couple years ago, just so you guys know, Gareth did a lesson with Matt a couple years ago now, and we watched him
Oh,
hit some
outdoor,
of the
like that-
outdoor.
yeah.
Some of the most ridiculous shots I've ever seen from 25
You can
yards.
spin it back out of the rough.
Out of the rough, and it had about 6,000 spin on it. So, I mean, obviously that was outdoor conditions where you're going to see a little bit more fluctuation with dirt and grass, but fantastic. So, I mean, you know who's a great example of this is Brian Gay. One of the best at doing it, and he's all his wedge shots, like he's like here and he's way forwards, and like if I show you an example, which I will in a moment here, you're gonna understand it. And this is what Joseph Mayo talked about, is he just had a conversation with Victor about the numbers and just went, this is the science behind it, this is the math, go do your thing. And obviously he did what he did. So
Okay, so just for me to understand, I mean, my spin loft's great, but it can be better. I just got to get my tack angle steeper. I feel like I'm okay.
I know, and I think that you unlock something, and that's why I was practicing a little bit before we started too. Is like, I understand how to do it, but doing it is kind of this. That was really good. The special sauce, that's got a ton on it.
Holy shit!
There's
okay.
9
So I
down.
carried it a little further.
But there it is.
There's the 9. Wow.
9 down, right? So 8,600 spin is how much I get on a full lob wedge for myself from 80 yards, right? So that ball is coming back.
And so that's the one that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so most of you at home don't have your own TrackMan.
True.
I assume.
True.
Okay, so if you go out to a range or your club or wherever,
Yeah.
you're hitting chip shots off a tight lie.
Don't try and pick the thing off.
Don't
there.
try and pick it. So you're really trying to be as steep as you can without making a divot.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't make too
like
big of a divot.
like
Yeah.
bruise the ground.
Yeah, and at such like slow speeds, it's hard to make a massive divot, right? So if you're hitting a 15-yard shot and you're making a divot, then okay, there's something to be kind of talked about. But it's a simple concept. Again, golf, a lot of things are simple, but they're hard to execute. This is not that difficult to execute, and a bunch of amateur golfers can do this because they're naturally steeper and they naturally hit down on it more. So again, something that's been in the zeitgeist of golf right now, and for me, my whole social media is filled with people kind of debating this or talking about it. And I think what Joseph Mayo has showed is like he's proved it 15 different ways this week.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So
okay, so to sum it up,
Yeah.
so again, the biggest thing is, in a bad habit, people lean back.
100%.
Okay,
If you have
so
a
you're
bad
leaning
back-
forward, you almost don't even need your right foot.
Yeah.
You're leaning forward.
Yeah.
The face has to stay square to
Pretty
a
square.
little open.
Yeah.
I'm picking it up super steep, so like
It's a feeling.
my daughter is standing behind me, I don't want to hit her in the
Perfect.
face.
Exactly.
And when I'm swinging down, I'm trying to smack the sole of the club on the ground. The leading edge isn't smacking on the ground. So that's holding it open.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm feeling like I'm smacking the sole of the club on the ground.
Yeah.
And then holding it open.
Exactly. Trying to throw that club face a little bit at it, right? And I think
That's
that's
like crazy.
It does.
I want to try that outside.
I know. So again, have a look at this. Try this for yourself at home too. If you have any more questions, there's tons of information on the TrackMan Maestro's Instagram, Joseph Mayo Golf. So just again, piggybacking kind of on some of his ideas and things that we've talked about with Gareth and talked about with Scott as well, because these guys understand the concepts as well. But the average person just doesn't understand. And I think this is a cool way to kind of demonstrate, hey, you can do it, right? And
Steep without a divot can be very functional. You got to learn how to do it.
Absolutely. So
we do have to answer some Q&A stuff though.
Sure.
So we'll get to that when we get there.
yeah, so sorry, that was a sidebar, but
Yeah,
enjoy.
this is
Thanks.
cool.
Yeah, thanks guys.
All right, peace.